Congressman Rick Lazio.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be back again, and thank you so much for the invitation, Chairman. It's great to see you, and I want to thank you for the hard work that you put into this job, and you can see the results of people coming out here tonight. I see a lot of old friends in the room and people that supported me, particularly in the Senate race against Hillary Clinton. I want to thank you for everything you did. This county was so important to me. You gave that so many times, and you never gave up. You did everything I asked, and I'll never forget you for that. So thank you so much. I want to acknowledge our great chairman, Ed Cox, and his command of policy and his commitment to this party. Wonderful to have somebody who is given full-time commitment sitting right now, and I'm proud to stand with you, Ed. And of course, your wonderful county executive, Chris Collins. Gosh, talk about optimism. It's hard not to look at Chris and feel optimistic about the city, this county, this region. To feel like he's got the answers and he has put his life on the line, and exactly what we need, people from different backgrounds, willing to step up, willing to make the sacrifices necessary to give back to the public. So my hat's off to you, Chris. And we three, I hope, together are going to build a new era for this Republican Party. There's a lot of work to do, but as Ed laid out, we have an opportunity to be heard to win our way back. And that's not an opportunity that happens every day. You know, we're looking at a very tough situation for New York. New York is really at a crossroads. Looking at a $40 billion a year deficit, a staggering amount of money, and a current year deficit as high as $4 billion. We have a government, ladies and gentlemen, that is fundamentally broken. Don't take my word for it. They just called out says nearly 3/4 of New Yorkers look at all of it. They say the place is broken. And it's not because of the members of the legislature that are in this room, because these are the heroes. These are the people that have been watching out for our interests on taxes and jobs and education. But it's for all the reasons that Chris laid out and Ed laid out. You have Democrats that feel no accountability to us as people. It's time that the people took back their government. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is not the people. We've got some of the smartest, most entrepreneurial, hardest working people in America, in this state, in this room. Look around. People that have had great success. The problem is not the people. The problem is the government. And while we have the smartest, hardest working, most creative people in America, we've got the worst state government in the entire nation. And we do not need to accept that. And we do our children a grave disservice by being complacent about this. This is not just about us in our lifetime. It's about what we do to provide these opportunities so our children stay in this state, get a great job, get a great education, and can raise a family. I never thought I'd run for public office again. Candidly, when I lost the Senate race, I went into the private sector, I ran an organization, I went to work for a Fortune 50 company. I never thought I'd go back. I was happy to support other candidates, other people, other people come. But when the state begins to move down the road they have moved down, good people can't stay on the sidelines. And my oldest daughter, I've got two daughters, my oldest daughter I started to take around to college. As I'm driving around the region, I'm thinking, I wonder where she'll end up. Maybe she'll meet somebody and move away. Maybe she'll find a job somewhere and move away. But I hope she doesn't feel like she has to move away. Because there's no good job. Because there's no economic opportunity. Because she's ashamed of the state government. Because there's no pride. And my guess is that every table in this room, you can relate with that. You want your kids to be able to stay in this area. You know that to do that, we need great education. We need to get back on offense on jobs. And we need to make this place affordable. We are choking businesses and we're choking families with taxes. We pay the highest property taxes in America. We pay the highest income taxes in America. We pay the second highest business taxes in America. And the result is that we've got the second worst business climate in America. So, what are we going to do about it. How bad does it have to be for our jobs, for our children, for our businesses, for our philanthropy activities, philanthropic activities, the things that we care about, we love, before we decide enough is enough, we're going to take back this government? So I decided when I was driving around, I was going to stand, put my foot forward and be a candidate. I was going to raise my voice. I was going to give this state the debate that I thought that it needed, a conversation about the future. Whether we go down the path that we're on right now to fiscal ruin, to loss of control, a loss of independence and second-rate status, or whether we regain our status of pride, of being first in class, of being worthy of our motto, the Empire State. So here are some of the things I think we need to do. First of all, we have to get our fiscal house in order. The people in Albany, the Democrats who control the Assembly, the Senate, and the governor, have created a crisis that is twice as bad as it needed to be. Created by Democrats, complicated by Democrats, compounded by Democrats. How do we do that? We need to have a government that's not afraid to use the veto anymore. Put the Democrats back on defense, and the liberals back on defense, and hold the line on spending. We need a real hard property tax cap, not a phony one, but one that's real. And because we believe in the principles that Chris was talking about, Ed was talking about, we know that we need to return more decision-making back to local government. I'd rather have Chris Collins making decisions about Medicaid and unemployment insurance rather than the people from New York City that run our government in Albany. Because I know he'll watch out for all of you, and I know you know where to get him, because he's around all the time. Third, we need to get some control over our pensions. The days of six-figure public pensions have got to come to an end. I work for fair pensions, ladies and gentlemen, but when our state is facing insolvency, when the state government officials are saying we don't have enough money to pay our bills by the end of the year, we have got to change our ways. And for all new employees, we need to set a cap on pension payouts. We need to get rid of this rule that allows people to spook up their last 3 years of pension payouts by going with overtime. We need to set reasonable standards. The second thing we need to do is go back on offense in terms of creating jobs. Of course, by lowering taxes and lowering spending, we're allowing our businesses to become more healthy, to invest and reinvest in New York and expand. So it starts with that. Second of all, we need to get back into the business of strategic investment in infrastructure. Ed talked about that before. The idea of the stimulus package, where all this money came into New York, that money is being used to finance the status quo, not for innovation. We need more of that money that would put people to work right away and would boost productivity over the long run. Third of all, our future is absolutely in education, in elementary and secondary education. We need an educational system that challenges every child, that cares for every child, and that prepares every child for the competitive world in which we live in. That means lift the cap on charter schools. That means pay for performance in the classroom. That means grading schools. And that means putting our children first unquestionably. Third of all, we've got a great asset in this region and in this state. Our Centers of Higher Learning. We've got 300 colleges and universities in New York. And they're some of the best colleges and universities in the world. We need to use them as economic catalysts. You've got a plan right here in this area in Erie County of Buffalo called UB 2020, which I do support. I think that's a path for the future. We need to leverage these places. We need to give them more flexibility to alter tuition, take some of that money from out-of-state people, invest it to go out and recruit the best and brightest in terms of faculty, give them more decision-making in terms of land use decisions, and that can be replicated in places all over the state. Lastly, all the political and economic change in the world won't happen unless people feel that the government is worthy again. We need to restore integrity in our government in Albany. determination. And with the mind that we are setting this right for our next generation. So I think you go back to the drawing board, out for a constitutional convention. I think our government is so fundamentally broken we need to start again. It's like a leaky roof. You fix it 5 times. 5 times, you fix it 10 times, you fix it 20 times. At some point, you've got to bite the bullet and replace the roof. We are at that point with New York State government. It doesn't work for us anymore. It works for the career politicians. It works for the politicians out of New York City. It does not work for the people of New York. We need to change that. We need a constitutional convention to begin to rewrite those rules. I'd like to see unicameral legislature debated, because I'd like to get rid of the Assembly and the Senate and replace it with a single body where you don't have these games played with one house passing one version, another house passing another version, nobody having accountability. I want people to be accountable. I'd like to see stronger conflict of interest rules, and talk about that a bit as well. In short, I think we need sweeping and fundamental change that only comes with rewriting the rules on government. We've got lots of work to do, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sorry to burden with you with this at this late hour. I feel like I'm the last speaker from you and the pillow. But this is a time for us. Every generation of Americans has worked hard and made sacrifices so the next generation had a better life. My grandparents did it. I'm a grandchild of immigrants. My parents did it. Both my parents were World War II veterans. They were called to the challenge. They did it time and time again. Now it is our turn. Will we turn our back on the crisis that we face, or will we step forward together, unified, and go back and take back our government? We can do it. If you decide you want to fight, you want to work, and you want to give for a better and more prosperous New York. Thank you so much for having me tonight.